December isn't the end of the growing season. For savvy gardeners, it's one of the most critical planting windows of the entire year. Miss these 30 crops now, and you've lost an entire season of production you can't get back. Most gardeners put their tools away in December. They assume growing season is over. The garden sits dormant. Spring feels impossibly far away. But experienced food producers know December is crucial planting month. Certain crops must go in the ground now or opportunities disappear completely. Some need winter cold to germinate. Others establish roots during winter dormancy, exploding with growth come spring. Still others produce harvests through winter when nothing else grows. The crops that go in the ground in December often outperform anything planted in spring. They establish deeper roots. They face less pest pressure. They mature earlier. And some provide harvests when grocery stores charge premium prices for inferior produce. This isn't just for mild climates. Gardeners in zones 3 through 10 have December planting opportunities. The crops differ by region, but the principle holds everywhere. December planting matters. This video covers 30 crops to plant in December, organized by climate zone and growing purpose. These aren't theoretical. These are proven crops that deliver exceptional results when planted in this narrow window. Time matters. December planting windows close fast. Some crops must be in ground before soil freezes. Others need planting before winter rains make soil unworkable. Delay means missing the window entirely. Viewers in different zones will find different sections most relevant. But understanding the full range of December possibilities reveals opportunities many gardeners never consider. Let's start with the crops that absolutely must go in the ground in December across most climate zones. Universal December plantings, zones 5 to 10. Garlic, the critical December crop. Garlic sits at the top of December planting lists for good reason. It must be planted in fall to produce properly. Spring-planted garlic produces small, weak bulbs. Fall-planted garlic, especially December planting in many zones, produces large, robust bulbs. The science is simple. Garlic needs cold period to trigger bulb formation. Without weeks of temperatures below 40 degrees Fahrenheit, it grows like green onion instead of forming cloves. December planting ensures adequate cold exposure. Planting technique matters. Individual cloves go in ground-pointed end up, 2 inches deep, 6 inches apart. Rows space 12 inches apart. Mulch heavily after planting to insulate soil and prevent heaving. December is actually optimal in zones 6 to 8. Earlier planting risks cloves, sprouting in warm fall weather and getting damaged by subsequent cold. December planting keeps cloves dormant through winter. Varieties matter. Hardneck types need longer cold periods and thrive in zones 3 to 7. Softneck types handle milder winters in zones 7 to 10. Choosing appropriate variety for your zone determines success. Multiplier onions and shallots. Multiplier onions, including potato onions and shallots, follow same December logic as garlic. Plant sets are individual bulbs in December. They establish roots through winter and multiply aggressively come spring. One planted bulb becomes 8 to 12 harvested bulbs by summer. This multiplication rate makes them remarkably productive from small planting stock. Planting depth is shallow compared to garlic. Sets go in barely covered, just their tips showing. Space 6 inches apart. Mulch protects them through winter. Fava beans. Fava beans planted in December germinate slowly through winter and rocket to maturity in early spring, producing weeks before any spring-planted crop. The cold tolerance is remarkable. Fava beans handle temperatures down to 15 degrees Fahrenheit once established. December planting means establishment happens during milder December weather, then plants sit dormant through January-February cold. By March, when most gardeners are just thinking about planting, December-planted favas are flowering. Harvest happens in May, filling the hunger gap when last winter storage is depleted but summer harvests haven't begun. Planting is straightforward. Direct seed 2 inches deep, 4 to 6 inches apart. Rows space 18 to 24 inches apart. No special treatment needed. Fruit trees and berry bushes. December is prime time for planting bare root fruit trees and berry bushes in zones 6 to 9. Nurseries ship bare root stock during dormancy, typically December through February. The advantage of dormant planting is massive. Trees establish root systems through winter without supporting leaf growth. Come spring, they have established roots ready to support vigorous growth. Spring-planted trees must simultaneously establish roots and grow leaves, splitting their energy. December planting also means better selection. Bare rootstock offers far more variety than potted trees available in spring, and prices are significantly lower. Planting requires digging proper holes, spreading roots carefully, and backfilling with native soil. Water thoroughly after planting, even though dormant. Winter rains typically handle irrigation thereafter. Asparagus crowns. Asparagus planted in December in zones 7 to 9 establishes earlier than spring planting. The crowns sit dormant through winter, but root growth happens during any warm spells. This early establishment means stronger first-year growth and potentially light harvest in year 2 instead of year 3. Planting asparagus requires trenching 6 to 8 inches deep, spreading crowns, covering with 2 inches of soil initially, then gradually filling trench as growth emerges in spring. Cold climate December. Plantings zones 3 to 6, 2:30 to 3. Garlic in cold zones. Cold climate gardeners should plant garlic in October-November ideally, but December works if ground hasn't frozen hard. The key is getting cloves in before soil becomes unworkable. Heavy mulching is critical in cold zones. 6 to 12 inches of straw or leaves insulate soil, preventing extreme freezing and thawing cycles that heave cloves out of ground. Spring bulbs for early greens. Flower bulbs planted in December provide edible greens in earliest spring. Daffodil and tulip foliage is toxic, but many other bulbs produce edible leaves. Ornamental onions, allium species, planted as bulbs in December sprout edible greens before anything else emerges. These early greens provide fresh flavor when gardens are otherwise bare. Planting depth follows standard bulb guidelines, 2 to 3 times the bulb's height. Space according to desired density of spring greens. Cold stratification seeds. December is perfect timing for cold stratification planting. Many native plants and some vegetables require cold period before germinating. Planting them in December exposes seeds to natural stratification. Native wildflowers, certain herbs, and some unusual vegetables like sea kale fall into this category. Seeds planted in December sit through winter and germinate in spring when conditions are right. The technique is simple. Broadcast or plant seeds in prepared area. Mark the spot clearly. Nothing will show for months. Spring brings germination. Rhubarb crowns. Rhubarb crowns planted in December in zones 4 to 6 establish better than spring planting in many cases. The dormant period lets roots establish without disturbance. Planting requires rich soil and shallow placement. The crown sits just below soil surface. Heavy mulching protects through winter. Bare root perennials. December is prime bare root perennial planting time in cold zones. Hostas, daylilies, peonies, and many other perennials ship dormant and plant best during dormancy. The December timing means roots establish before spring growth begins. Plants emerge stronger in spring than if planted after growth starts. Mild winter December plantings, zones 8 to 10. Winter vegetables. Gardeners in zones 8 to 10 can grow actual winter vegetable gardens, harvesting fresh produce through December, January, and February. But planting must happen in December before days get too short. Lettuce and salad greens. December planting of lettuce, arugula, mizuna, and other greens in mild zones provides harvests through winter. The slow growth in short days actually improves flavor. Cold weather makes greens sweeter. Direct seed or transplant seedlings. Space closer than summer planting since plants won't reach full size. Succession plant every 2 weeks through December. Brassicas. Broccoli, cabbage, cauliflower, and kale planted in December in zones 8 to 10 mature in late winter and early spring. December planting targets, late February through April harvest window. Transplants work better than direct seeding. 6 to 8 week old seedlings go in ground in December. They grow slowly through winter and accelerate in lengthening days of February. Root vegetables. Carrots, beets, radishes, and turnips planted in December in mild zones produce winter and early spring harvests. The cool soil produces sweet, crisp roots without the bitterness summer heat causes. Direct seed in rows or broadcast. Keep soil moist until germination. Growth is slow but steady through winter. Dakprok, Asian greens. Bok choy, tatsoi, mizuna, and other Asian greens thrive in cool weather. December planting in zones 8 to 10 provides fresh greens through winter when most crops are dormant. These greens tolerate light frosts and actually improve in flavor after cold exposure. Direct seed or transplant. Peas. Sugar snap and snow peas planted in December in zones 8 to 10 climb trellises through winter and produce heavily in March-April, weeks before spring-planted peas. The key is choosing varieties tolerant of short days and cool temperatures. Tall varieties need trellising installed at planting. Onions from seed. Long day onions started from seed in December in zones 8 to 9, size up by early summer. This is standard practice in commercial onion production in mild climates. Seeds sow thickly in flats or seed beds. Transplant seedlings in late winter at pencil thickness. Bulbing happens in lengthening days of May-June. Fava beans. Favas in mild winter zones planted in December produce enormous plants and heavy yields. The cool season growth without heat stress creates ideal conditions. Plants can reach 5 feet tall. Support may be necessary. Harvest happens in April-May. English peas. Shelling peas planted in December in zones 8 to 10 mature in spring. The December planting timing prevents bolting that occurs when peas experience heat. Choose tall varieties for maximum production. Trellising is essential. Orchard and perennial, December work, 5:30 to 7. Bare root fruit trees. December through January is peak bare root planting season across all zones that aren't currently frozen. The selection of varieties available bare root far exceeds potted stock. The planting process is critical. Dig holes wide, not deep. Spread roots naturally. The graft union on grafted trees must stay above soil line. Water thoroughly after planting. In cold zones, plant early December before ground freezes. In mild zones, December through January are both excellent. Berry bushes. Blueberries, raspberries, blackberries, currants, and gooseberries all plant excellently bare root in December. The dormant establishment period gives them head start on spring growth. Soil preparation matters more than planting timing. Blueberries need acidic soil. Raspberries need well-drained soil. Research specific requirements before planting. Grapevines. Grapevines planted bare root in December establish strong root systems before spring growth. December is considered optimal planting time across most zones. Trellising should be installed before planting or immediately after. Vines will need support as soon as growth begins in spring. Asparagus. Asparagus crowns planted in December in zones 7 to 9 get growing head start. The perennial nature means one December planting provides harvests for 20-plus years. Site selection is critical. Asparagus will occupy space for decades. Choose permanent location with good drainage and full sun. Rhubarb. Rhubarb crowns planted in December establish well in zones 5 to 9. The plant requires cold period for dormancy, but December planting in milder zones works fine. Rich soil and adequate space are essential. Rhubarb forms large clumps over years. Plan accordingly. Strawberries. Bare root strawberries planted in December in zones 6 to 9 establish better than spring planting in many cases. December planting means earlier first harvest. Variety selection matters enormously. June-bearing types produce one large crop. Ever-bearing types produce sporadically all season. Choose based on desired harvest pattern. Fruit tree guilds. December is ideal time to establish complete fruit tree guilds. Trees plus companion plantings that support tree health and productivity. The concept involves planting nitrogen-fixing shrubs, dynamic accumulator herbs, and other support plants around fruit trees. December planting means entire guild establishes together. Plants like comfrey, clover, yarrow, and native flowers plant around tree to create beneficial ecosystem. All establish over winter, ready for spring growth. Cover crops and soil building. Winter rye. Winter rye planted in December grows slowly through winter and aggressively in spring. It's cut and incorporated before spring planting, adding organic matter and preventing erosion. Broadcast seed over empty beds at rate of 2 to 3 pounds per 1,000 square feet. Rake lightly to cover. No further care needed. Austrian winter peas. Austrian winter peas planted in December fix nitrogen while providing ground cover. They winter kill in cold zones, leaving nitrogen-rich residue. In mild zones, they're cut and incorporated in spring. The nitrogen fixation is substantial, equivalent to applying significant synthetic fertilizer. Plus, the organic matter improves soil structure. Crimson clover. Crimson clover planted in December provides ground cover, fixes nitrogen, and produces beautiful flowers in spring that attract beneficial insects before being cut and incorporated. Broadcast seed and rake lightly. Germination happens slowly through December. Spring growth is vigorous. Hairy vetch. Hairy vetch planted in December is one of best nitrogen-fixing cover crops available. It overwinters reliably through Zone 4, grows vigorously in spring, and incorporates easily. The nitrogen contribution is remarkable. Vetch can fix 100 to 150 pounds of nitrogen per acre. Substantial fertility boost from simple December seeding. Oats and field peas. Oat and field pea mix planted in December winter kills in zones 7 and colder, leaving perfect residue for spring planting. The mix provides quick ground cover and prevents erosion. In mild zones where oats don't winter kill, they're mowed in spring before seed set. Daikon radish. Daikon radish planted in December grows large tap roots that break up soil compaction. The radishes winter kill, and roots decompose, leaving channels for water and air penetration. This biological tillage improves soil structure without mechanical disruption. Simply broadcast seed and let nature do the work. Cold frame and protected growing, 8:20 to 9:40. Cold frame December planting. Cold frames extend growing season dramatically. December plantings in cold frames produce through winter in zones 5 to 8. Spinach. Spinach planted in cold frames in December grows slowly but steadily through winter. Harvest happens continuously from January through March. The flavor of cold-grown spinach is superior to summer spinach. No bitterness, sweet and tender. Mâché, corn salad. Mâché tolerates extreme cold. December planting in cold frames provides gourmet salad greens through winter. The flavor is mild and nutty. Broadcast seed densely. Harvest by cutting entire rosettes when size is adequate. Claytonia, miner's lettuce. Claytonia planted in cold frames in December produces delicate, mild greens through winter. It's one of most cold-tolerant salad greens available. Self-sows readily, so one December planting can provide years of volunteer crops. Arugula. Arugula in cold frames planted in December grows slowly, but produces through winter. The cold temperature moderates the peppery flavor. Cut-and-come-again harvesting provides multiple crops from single planting. Asian greens. Mizuna, tatsoi, and other Asian greens in cold frames planted in December produce heavily through winter. They're more cold-tolerant than lettuce. The variety of textures and flavors provides salad diversity when little else grows. Carrots for winter storage. Carrots planted in cold frames in December size up slowly through winter. They're harvested in late winter for storage or immediate use. The cold frame protection prevents ground freezing, allowing harvest when convenient. Zone-specific strategies. Zone 3 to 4. Focus on spring harvest. The coldest zones have limited December planting options. Focus on garlic, bare root perennials that ship dormant, and cold stratification seeds. The December work in these zones is more about preparation, planting spring gardens, ordering seeds, building cold frames, and other infrastructure. Zone 5 to 6. Transition opportunities. These zones can plant garlic, certain cover crops that overwinter, bare root trees and perennials, and prepare cold frames for January planting of cold-tolerant greens. December is planning and preparation month with selective planting opportunities. Zone 7 to 8. Substantial December planting. These zones have significant December planting options. All overwinter crops work. Bare root stock plants excellently. Cover crops establish well. Cold frames allow full winter vegetable production. December is active planting month, not dormant season. Zone 9 to 10. Peak production season. The warmest zones treat December as prime planting month. Winter vegetable gardens go in now. Succession planting continues through winter. December in these zones is as busy as May in cold zones. The growing season never really stops. Critical December tasks beyond planting. December soil work sets up spring success. In zones where soil is workable, amending beds now allows amendments to incorporate over winter. Compost, aged manure, and organic matter spread in December break down slowly, ready for spring planting. Mulching. Mulching in December protects soil from erosion, feeds soil life, and insulates planted crops. Fallen leaves are ideal mulch material available in abundance. Thick mulch layers over garlic and other December plantings prevent freeze-thaw heaving. Tool maintenance. December is perfect time for tool maintenance. Clean, sharpen, and oil tools. Repair handles. Organize storage areas. Spring arrives suddenly. Tools need to be ready. Seed ordering. December is peak seed ordering time. Best selections and varieties sell out quickly. Ordering now ensures desired varieties arrive in time for spring. Planting. Catalogs overwhelm with options. Take time to choose varieties suited to your zone and goals. Infrastructure building. Cold frames, trellises, raised beds, and other infrastructure build well in December. Construction can happen without interfering with active gardening. Spring is too busy for major projects. December allows focused infrastructure work. Why December planting matters. The advantage of December planting extends beyond just getting earlier harvests, though that alone justifies effort. December planted crops face less pest pressure. Many pests haven't emerged yet when crops are young and vulnerable. By the time pests arrive, plants are established and resilient. Root development during winter dormancy creates stronger plants. Roots establish without supporting leaf growth, creating extensive systems that support vigorous spring growth. Competition from weeds is minimal. Winter and early spring have few germinating weed seeds. December plantings establish before weed pressure begins. Water requirements are lower. Winter and spring rainfall typically provides adequate moisture without supplemental irrigation. The December planting window represents strategic opportunity. Missing it means losing months of potential productivity. Crops that could have been establishing site idle instead. For serious food producers, December isn't downtime. It's critical planting window requiring attention and action. 30 crops that plant in December, each offering unique advantages and opportunities. From garlic that absolutely must go in now, to winter vegetables producing fresh food through cold months, to bare root perennials establishing for years of production. December isn't the end of growing season. For informed gardeners, it's one of most important planting months of the entire year. The window is narrow. December days pass quickly. Soil freezes. Weather turns. Opportunities close. Crops that could have gone in ground remain as missed chances. But for those who act, December planting delivers results. Spring planted crops cannot match. Earlier harvests, stronger plants, less pest pressure, better flavor, higher productivity. The gardeners who understand December's importance work while others rest. They plant while others assume nothing can be done. And come spring, the results speak clearly. Which of these 30 crops fits your zone and goals? The comment section is the place to share plans and ask questions about specific crops. Hitting like helps other gardeners discover that December matters. Subscribing brings more information on making the most of every growing season window. Next video covers January planting opportunities. Yes, January has critical plantings too. The productive garden never truly rests. Thanks for watching. Now go plant something. December is too valuable to waste.